Texas Tech lands the commitment of a JUCO tight end, but the Red Raiders are just getting started in the portal. In today's video, we'll discuss the latest names that the Red Raiders have offered or been in contact with, and much more. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast, reminding you, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Trying to get to 9K subscribers. Crazy. Before the end of 2023 and before that calendar flips to 2024. This is the most engaging Texas Tech community on YouTube, so be a part of it by simply hitting that subscribe button. And I know the transfer portal is a hot topic, right? I get it. There's some people that like it, some people that don't. Some people think that it's an NIL thing and it's really just impacted the portal as a whole. Whatever your opinion is, I want to hear from you guys. Just a simple Y for yes or N for no. Do you like the transfer portal? I'm expecting to see a lot of N's down in the comments, but let me know your thoughts on the transfer portal by simply just giving me one letter, a Y for yes or N for no, down on the pinned comment below. All right, let's talk about the latest Texas Tech commit. His name is Alex Lines, a tight end from Garden City Community College. Lines stands 6'5", 255 pounds, and has 2 years of eligibility left. That's a big man right there. Lines out of high school played at UNLV during the COVID year, but then transferred back home to Arizona, originally from Arizona, and played for the Wildcats. Then he transferred to Garden City Community College, and in 2023, he caught 31 passes for 309 yards and 2 touchdowns. While in the portal, he had scholarships offers from the following schools: Akron, Eastern Michigan, Louisiana-Monroe, Massachusetts, and New Mexico, as well as New Mexico State, who, by the way, for that New Mexico job, a former Texas Tech head coach is in the running in Matt Wells. But when I look at this commitment and really Texas Tech targeting him, right, the thing that comes to mind for me is this. This is a Henry Teeter replacement. You've got guys on the roster potentially coming back next year in Mason Tharp, Jaden York, and then Baylor Cupp. Baylor Cupp can use his COVID extra year and be a super senior if he wants to. So you could have potentially 4 guys back, and they're not done at the tight end spot. They have another guy that we'll talk about here in just a second, who they are very much interested in, a guy that started his playing career at Oklahoma, then went to Arizona State. Now he's in the portal, and Texas Tech could be potentially after him as well in terms of high priority on his list, as he is officially going to go on an official visit to Texas Tech. But we'll talk about that more here in just a second. But when I saw Alex Lines and Texas Tech going after him, again, all I could think about was Henry Teeter. Henry Teeter is 6'4", 250. He runs out of eligibility this year, and Texas Tech used him as a fullback, a guy on the inline blocker, right? This is the kind of guy that Alex Lines is. At 6'5", 255, he can be put right next to a tackle, be a solid blocker out there, and not to mention he can be put in the backfield as well as a fullback type situation. So I think that's really what they were going for here, and not to mention Alex Lines can also play on special teams. So you think about that from that perspective, and I saw a lot of people say, oh, this is a weak commitment. No, this is strategical when it comes down to it, in the sense of depth purposes and multifaceted in terms of what he can do from a chess piece perspective for Texas Tech and the offensive line. Whether he wants to be an extra blocker, he can go out into the flat and catch the football as well, but also be a big body out of the backfield for fullback purposes as well. All right, before we get into some of the latest names that Texas Tech has targeted in the portal, we've got to talk about Homefield. I mean, my goodness, this bomber jacket is almost out right now, and it's the holiday season, and y'all need to go get your hands on it, because we've got a promo code for you guys right now, back to 12, all one word. Got it at the bottom ticker right below. Use that, and you get 15% off your entire purchase. It's the holiday season. I'm telling you right now, my Homefield Apparel Texas Tech shirts are my favorite Texas Tech shirts I have. That can include Under Armour, whatever it is. These are my favorite Texas Tech shirts, and I promise they'll be your favorite Texas Tech shirt as well. Whether you want to go the hoodie route, whether you want to go this absolutely fire, and I mean fire, Texas Tech women's basketball 1993 vintage t-shirt, you can get that. You can get the bomber jacket, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever it is. I promise you will find your new favorite Texas Tech apparel over on homefield.com. And all you have to do to save 15% off your entire order is use the code BACK212. So head on over there and get your new favorite Texas Tech apparel. I promise you won't regret it. All right, let's jump back into some of these names that Texas Tech is targeting right now, because Some of them are really interesting, and there's three names that we're going to talk about. We got a bunch of question marks on the thumbnail. I'm sure y'all saw that with the portal in the background. Wanted to be a little creative today. Anyway, on the tight end front, I mentioned him, former Oklahoma guy, Arizona State transfer now. His name is Jalen Conyers. All right. He's a Texas native, and he's caught 74 passes for 846 yards and 6 touchdowns in his 3 seasons with the Sun Devils. Went to Oklahoma before transferring to Arizona State, but he's 6'4", 240, and I describe him as a fluid athlete, and that is a huge compliment at the tight end position because if you watch football quite a bit, you know that tight ends are – some of them can be kind of stiff when it comes down to it, right? And so he's a guy that's fluid. He can get out the outside and really be a guy, if you remember Kuntz, the tight end that Texas Tech has, that's who he kind of reminds me of. A little bit smaller in terms of height, but probably a little bit more fluid of an athlete on the outside with a little bit more speed as well. The next guy that really stands out to me in terms of Texas Tech has offered is Memphis offensive lineman, going to be a guard, and his name is Davon Carter. He is a top 10 offensive lineman in the portal right now, according to PFF, okay? He's going to be one of the most highly sought after guards and offensive linemen in general in the portal this cycle. Okay, he's 6'3", 290, and he finished the 2023 season with a grade of 79.4, according to PFF, and then a pass grade, when you look at it, of 87.2. And listen, you can have your opinion about PFF and a lot of their metrics. The only ones I really look at, and I've said it a couple times on this channel before, I really do actually look at their offensive lineman ranks, and they're pretty solid when it comes down to it. Carter's going to be one of those guys that's highly sought after for some SEC programs, Big 12, Big 10, it doesn't matter. But Texas Tech has gotten in the ground early, and he's a guy that I think could have an instant impact for the Red Raiders on the left or the right side. Probably the right side. He's a right guard. But he's a guy with 1 year of eligibility left and a guy that I'm very interested to see if the Red Raiders can land out of the transfer portal. Another guy that I'm very interested to see if Texas Tech can land out of the transfer portal it's a wide receiver, Monmouth wide receiver, Dymere Miller. He's 6 foot, 180 pounds. He finished the 2023 season with 90 catches for just under 1,300 yards, right, receiving. That led the nation this year, okay? And he had 9 touchdowns. He has multiple Power 5 offers from Pittsburgh and Rutgers. He is a PA kid up there in Pennsylvania. He has 1 year of eligibility left. But he's a guy that is super interesting to me from the sheer standpoint of, again, you need a little bit of a veteran presence when it comes to the wide receivers right now for Texas Tech. You think about the guys that are in the portal for the Red Raiders now, in Bradley and Price, you lose guys like Xavier White, right? Okay, you got Coy Aiken, you got McCray, you got Jordan Brown coming back. Obviously, Micah Hudson's coming in. We've talked about guys like TJ West, DJ Crest, and then Kelby Vaslin as well. Dymere Miller is a guy that I think brings a unique skill set to the outside, and I would love him to be complimented on the opposite side of Coy Aiken if you have that opportunity. And I truly believe he would be the perfect complement for a guy like Jordan Brown opposite of Coy Aiken, as I just mentioned. So he's going to get a lot of attention in the portal. There's no doubt about that. But he's a guy that, again, Texas Tech had offered early. I believe Texas Tech was actually one of the first 3 Power 5 offers that he got. I just mentioned Pittsburgh and Rutgers. There's a couple more, but those are the ones that stand out alongside Texas Tech. So it'll be interesting to see if they can land them. Again, these are the guys that have really stood out to me in this latest wave of portal offers that Texas Tech has been connected to. Again, those players are Arizona State tight end. You got Jalen Conyers, and then you've also got Memphis offensive lineman Davon Carter, as well as Monmouth wide receiver Dymere Miller. So once again, those are the guys that are the latest offers from Texas Tech in the portal. And then you land a guy that's a Henry Teeter replacement, in my opinion, in Garden City Community College tight end Alex Lyons. One more time, if you haven't already, help us get to 9K before the calendar turns to 2024. All you got to do is simply hit that subscribe button. Let us know you like the content as well by simply liking the video. And before we head out of here, one more time, let me know down on the pinned comment below. Do you like the transfer portal? Just a simple Y for yes or in for no. Let me know down on the pinned comment below. I am RC Maxfield, reminding you one more time, if you want to be a part of the most engaging Texas Tech community on YouTube, you know what to do. Simply hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.